everybody. It's Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River City Speedway. Oh, man. Amelia and Laela Eisenschenk are in the studio today. How about Aussie Wade Aunger, also in the studio? And if that's not enough, World of Outlaw announcer Johnny Gibson's here. I'm just keyed up. It's going to be awesome. By the way, today's Dirty Thursday also brought to you by Executive Properties. Are you still putting off that project around the house that's been bugging you forever? Do you think you can wait until spring and call a contractor and have the work done ASAP? Well, good luck with that. Executive Properties has openings right now to get that project done. In fact, you can check out their Google reviews. Aaron says Chris and his team did a spectacular job in the damage to my aunt's garage and siding. Kept us up to date on the progress, and the finished product was amazing. Thank you for your professionalism and hard work. Hey, get that project done sooner than later. Call Executive Properties, 701-330-1273. All right, we are back. Again, welcome, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, for anybody here, feel free to call or text. Our number at the studios at Grand Forks Best Source, 701-213-0863, 701-213-0863. A couple of them today. Jokes. My neighbor tells me, here we go. Why aren't high school twins afraid of getting mono? Why aren't high school twins afraid of getting mono? Well, they get stereo instead. Told you it wasn't as good as the last one. All right. I got one for you, too, there. I traveled to Australia last year, and I was going through immigration, and they said, do you have a criminal record? Well, I replied, I didn't realize that was still a requirement to get in here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll pay that. That was good.
Let's see. We got a lot of things to talk about before we get into talking to our guests here. Let's see here. A couple of people we lost in the racing world. Man, this has been a tough year. Scotty Bloomquist died in a plane crash here last week. Also, Eloy Gutierrez was the scorer and an innovator in the world of outlaws and the sprint car world. Probably one of the quietest, nicest guys that I ever met in the business, and we lost both of them, and it's just terrible. A couple of really, really good guys. Of course, Bloomer was up here a couple of years ago. Dale, quickly, how about a Forks Karting Association update from last night?
Yeah, it was a big track championship night last night. A lot of big shout-outs to all the big track championship winners. Just going to run through them real quick. Chance Berger, Maverick Amdahl, Jackson Dobmeyer, Owen Broden, James Mackhart, Isaac Johnson, Ryan Thorvalson, Lily Jarvis, Ruby McDonald, Brian Good, and even the River City's flagger, Mike Witherall, all track champions, winner for all 11 classes at Forks Karting Speedway. One more race of the season left. The season doubleheader state championship, September 14th. Check it out, Forks Karting Speedway.
All right, thank you very much, Dale. And Dirty Thursday track schedule today brought to you by Forks Karting Association. You can watch them Wednesdays during the regular season. They've got one more race coming up here in September. We'll be talking a lot more about that. But you can find out more by going to Forks, I do that every time, Forks Karting Association, forkskartingassociation.com, all right? Of course, tomorrow, River City Speedway, the second leg of the Northern Tour, the NOSA Energy Drink World of Outlaw Sprint Cars are here, plus the NLRA late models. Saturday, Devils Lake Speedway in Doyen, Pure Stocks, Wissota Street Stocks, the Midwest Mods, and on-wing sprints in the trophy class. Up in Greenbush Race Park on Saturday, Wissota Mods, Midwest Mods, the Pure Stocks, the Street Stocks, and the four-cylinders. Of course, Saturday at Red River Valley Speedway in Fargo. It's the World of Outlaw Duel in the Dakotas. The Danny Schatz Memorial, also a meet and greet at the east end of the fairgrounds from 3 to 5 on Saturday. Go meet Donnie, Laela, and Amelia, and the whole group over there of DSR Racing. And Sunday, Buffalo River to wrap up the weekend in Glendon. 2024 Season Championship Night 2. IMCA Sport Mods, Hobby Stocks, Mods, Wissota Midwest Mods, the Street Stocks, and the IMCA Race Saver Sprints. Okay, we got that out of the way. What do we got coming up next? By the way, we will be at Buffalo Wild Wings tomorrow, live, Grand Forks Best Source, from about noon to 2, somewhere around there. We're going to be hooking up with Mark Dobmeyer and, of course, the Buffalo Wild Wings race team there, the sprint car team. Should be fun. And one more thing. Rumors Sports Bar Casino, one of the sponsors here of Dirty Thursday, will have, for the first time ever, their bus going to the World of Outlaws tomorrow night. I tell you what, with the parking the way it is out there now and having to worry about walking 8 miles from wherever you park, why not spend $5, come to Rumors, you get on the bus, you come back, give them your ticket, you get a free beer, leaves at 6:15, races start at 7:30. And there we go. Before we get going, let's do it. Can we play the quote? Oh. And I'm going to play this again forever and ever. You guys might remember this one from Uncle Donnie.
Here, so I spent one of them weeks, almost like a week from hell, and I kind of told myself yesterday, the only thing that could be worse than the week I've had is being the governor of Minnesota. So I'm not the governor of Minnesota. So.
I'm a Minnesotan, so I had to throw that in there. All right. Johnny, how are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Yeah, you gave me the kind of like, ooh, you didn't know about that one. We didn't dare play the video because we didn't know if we'd get in trouble for that. But, I talked to you a while ago, and you got back to me, and I did see you brought your friend with you, and I'm excited about that. But how have you been? How's the year treating you?
The year has been fantastic. It has been a great year for the World of Outlaws NOSA Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. And, of course, we're back in Grand Forks, and we are racing tomorrow night at my favorite racetrack out of the 400 that I've been to, River City Speedway.
400 racetracks. Yeah. That is crazy. And we were going through the numbers. We were doing a little crunching here when you walked in, and I was off. I thought it was 2,200 and something, 2,323 races. 2,323 consecutive races without missing a race. How the hell do you do something like that, man? Aren't you ever sick? Are you Superman or what?
No, actually, there have been a couple times I've had to fight through some voice issues. Kings Royal a couple of years ago was really bad, but fortunately, I've been able to go through, how many years now? 1995 was the last year I missed a World of Outlaws race, October of 95.
Oh, man, that is crazy. And when I talked to you, when we first opened up the studio, that's when the pandemic had hit. And I know we had scheduled something, and you actually thought you maybe had gotten COVID, and you thought it'd be best to just stay in the motorhome, which probably was a good call. But and you didn't miss anything, man.
Yeah, actually, that's happened a couple of times now where I've been able to walk away unscathed when people around me have come down with COVID, and for some reason it seems like I've been able to avoid it in those situations. I've actually had it during the off season, but I've managed to avoid it during racing situations.
Are you one of those guys, if you happen to be somewhere and maybe you're at a restaurant eating or something, you got to race that night, and you can hear somebody sniffling and snarfing and coughing and sneezing? Do you freak out? Are you kind of paranoid about that stuff?
Not really. I mean, unless they're doing it kind of right in my face.
Yeah. Add a little special sauce to the burger. Yeah, there we go. Girls, how are you?
We're great.
We're great.
Happy to be here.
You guys have been busy. I mean, every time on social media, I'm looking at, and you guys are all over the place doing all kinds of fun stuff all the time. How's the summer going so far?
We've had a great summer. Obviously, we've raced a lot and traveled a lot with our uncle, and we've just been trying to enjoy it all while we can. And now that school's starting back up, it slows down a little bit, but Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we still are racing, so we're thankful for that.
You guys got the paparazzi chasing you all over the place. You guys had some TV stuff going on this week and some video stuff last night. Do you guys ever stop and take a break?
Yeah, I mean, we take time for ourselves. That's kind of the winter time. So in the summer, it's race time, and, that's a grind, and we're happy to do it. So
yeah. Rest of the season, busy. A lot of stuff still scheduled for you?
Yeah, obviously this weekend is big. The Outlaws are here, so that's pretty cool. We'll be with our late models and sprint cars, and then Sunday we finish at Huset's for their end of the year for the 305. So, there's a lot of late model racing left in the year, and we're going to try and come up here for the 410 shows and the fall too. So we still got a lot of racing left.
I was arguing with a guy who thought he knew his local racing the other day, and he said, no, they don't have 410s. They only have 305s. I said, I beg to differ. And I corrected him. But already a lot of people, Nick Curtis, Steven Ader, Jason Berg, Perry Dobmeyer, Scotty Iverson, Nick Curtis, Joshua Johnson, everybody's already watching the show. No, we didn't have enough microphones for both girls, Joshua. And Nick wants to know if Johnny brought the bass. Do you even have a bass?
No.
No, you're not all about the bass. That's you like that one? That's me. I have a bass that looks really nice sitting on a stand in my basement. I haven't picked it up in like 8 years. We should jam one time. Okay, I'm going to keep moving around. This is a guy I have never, ever met before, Wade Aunger. Am I pronouncing your name correct?
It's Aunger, but that's okay.
Aunger.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well,
I'm not fancy, mate.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, unlike Johnny, I've had 2,323 consecutive breakfasts. I've never missed a breakfast, but I've not like him not missing an Outlaws race. I'm so jealous of Johnny because in a couple of years' time, you're going to get to call these girls on the road. Like, you've done some cool things, Johnny, but these girls are special. Like, I've got to hang out with them the last couple of days in particular. They're very humble, they're very modest, they're very caring, and they're kind people. And this is a really exciting time for our sport, Johnny. These two are next level.
It really is. And, you know, I've followed their careers through social media and video highlights and so on, but I really hadn't had a chance to watch you guys race until we had that weekend off, 4th of July weekend. I actually came to Fargo and followed you guys down to Casino Speedway in Watertown, and then got to come back up here and be a spectator at my favorite track, which has only happened one other time before. But I got to watch you guys in a 410 for the first time, and I can say that, you know, it's very evident that you learn to race from Donnie because you guys race the way he does. You guys race clean, you guys race hard, but that is something to be so very proud of in a day and age where a lot of younger racers are basically win it or wear it types, and I'm going to throw the big slide job, and if you don't lift, we're both going to crash. I was very impressed by the way you guys race, and I know that's something that Uncle Donnie has instilled in you guys.
You know, I was actually shocked. I got a text, and I don't remember who texted me. Might have been Corey Litton texted me. He goes, "Hey, do you know that Johnny Gibson's in the pits?" And I'm like, "Where?" "At River City Speedway." And I'm like, "What? No, he's not." And I texted you, and yeah, I am. It's like, okay. How did you end up here with the girls from DSR, or the whole story about that way?
Well, it's kind of cool because Johnny, I asked him what your favourite track was because Johnny and I worked together in Australia several years ago, and I always said, "Have you got a favourite?" And you said this place.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to actually be here and see, you know, why it's so special. I've known Donnie since he started coming to race in Australia.
Okay.
The World Series sprint cars back in the day, in the late 90s. And so I've been friends with, as much as you can be friends with Donnie, like he keeps to himself, right?
Yeah.
He's a private guy. So I've known, you know, Donnie and his family for some time, and got to know Deanne, and he's a very proud sister, and you know that
absolutely.
she's extremely passionate, just like all the Shots family. So we got to hang out at Jackson last year, actually, and said, let's do a photo shoot, because there's that cool old area, Johnny, where the old barns are there.
Right.
And so let's put the cars there, and so it was really cool. So I remember interviewing the girls, and I walked up and said, what are we doing? They're like, "Oh, you know, just hanging out, doing a photo shoot."
Fargo guy here.
It's cool. I'm not mimicking them. I think they sound tremendous. So and Deanne at the time said, "Would you come up and announce my dad's race through the 305 racing?" So Johnny and I are kind of going to be working alongside each other, just in different songs. And so I'm really excited. And I interviewed their grandma last year, and that was really humbling for me because those kind of people are the story for me.
Sure.
I love, what is the thing that makes Donnie who he is, and Deanne, and so she told me some amazing stories, and got to meet the girls, and I thought, God, they're so humble and they're so down to earth. I mean, look at them; they're stunners as well. They're very marketable young ladies, but they don't take it for granted. So just the opportunity to come up here this weekend, and I can't wait to see the two tracks that Johnny says are epic.
Oh yeah,
Johnny has a thing. He plays great music with Outlaws. Like I'm always in that. He's a hair nation of horsepower. This guy, and he'll roll out Rocket Ride for me, and I'll just be like, check it. So he knows I'm a diehard Kiss guy.
Oh yeah. I've seen Kiss 4 times, all original members, all with the makeup. I even used to belong to the Kiss Army. There I
Preach,
said it.
brother,
I said
preach.
It. There you go. Kyle Lonnie, what's your favorite moment or memory of racing DSR's Laela and Amelia?
I would have to say that my favorite moment of racing would be 2 years ago at the Knoxville Nationals after our grandpa passed away.
Sure.
Knoxville was a special place for our whole family, and I remember when I was little, I used to go on bike rides with my grandpa around Knoxville, so it was a very special place for us, and Going into Knoxville was always a big week for our whole family, and Donnie winning that year was just really special, and it really hit home for everyone. And I remember running to the pits with my grandma, and we were all crying and just so proud of Donnie. And we knew that our grandpa was along for the ride that night. So it was really special for us all. And I'll just never forget that moment for sure.
You guys have a lot of people that are falling in love with you instantly right now. One guy is saying, do the young ladies need a chaperone? Another one tuning in late. Who are these lovely young ladies? Amanda Joe, I absolutely love working with Laela and Amelia. Such humble ladies. And hi, John. There we go. We got Bill watching from Plymouth, Wisconsin. And if you don't know who these lovely ladies are, there we go. It's Laela and Amelia Eisenschenk. They are Donnie Schatz's niece. They race for DSR Racing, and they race just about everything. 305 sprints, 410 sprints, late models, and all of the good stuff. You being up here, how long have you been here now?
In North Dakota?
Yep.
What did I get 3 days ago?
Oh, okay.
I think.
I thought you were here for like the whole summer or something.
No, I came to Knoxville. My main thing is to work with the team at Knoxville.
Okay.
And that was like the second week in July, like 9th of July, something like that.
Okay.
And so I sort of committed to Deanne a couple months ago that I'd like to come up here and be part of this. So it's my most northern trip. I've never been this far north, Johnny.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah, we're only an hour from Canada here.
yeah, I saw the sign to Winnipeg. I was like, holy cow, my Commonwealth brothers. So it's my first time to see any of this and been out to the Petro, the petrol station that the Schatz family have, and have my first 99, Johnny. Have you had a 99?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
What is a 99?
So it's basically like a cheesy omelette, right, thing that became famous years and years ago at the Dolly Down.
Oh,
now,
sure,
I
yep,
thought that was Dolly Parton.
Oh, no.
But it's not. The
That's
Dolly
Dolly
is
up.
the trailer.
Yeah.
So
Well, wait, I hate to interrupt, but the 99 started at the Schatz Crossroads.
Roads. Yep.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
it's
see?
Which is a very world-renowned restaurant if you've ever been to Minot. So.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, that's where I had a 99 was at Schatz Crossroads in Minot.
Okay.
well,
Now
I
I'm gonna
offered
have
to
to have
drive
one.
there.
The Dolly Down is still very famous. So
Yeah,
yes.
I offered to drive there. They said it's 4 hours away. I'm like, well, hell, I'm 14,000 miles from home
Depends
now.
on how
What's another
hungry you
4
are.
hours?
Yeah, it depends on how hungry you are.
It was good, but this family, they're a really special family, John. Like, I think, Johnny, you see a different side to the Schatzes that fans don't get to see. I think racing is polarizing. Everyone has a favorite or a not favorite, and they make up their mind on what people are like based on what they see on the racetrack. And very rarely is the track guy the family guy. So, Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, those Sheldon Hordenshield, all those people, that's only this much of what you see on the track is who they really are.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yep.
And the other night we were at steak night. Donnie gets very excited about $9.99 steak night. And I was sitting there with Sheldon here and Donnie there. And I'm thinking to myself, Johnny, you imagine, can you become friends with your Penguins? Like, as a fan, do you get to be friends with a professional sporting team?
No, not in the way that fans can become close with the World of
Correct.
Outlaws drivers and sprint car drivers.
Yeah.
And wait, something you touched on here with I've been fortunate enough to kind of grow up in the sport with Donnie, because Donnie's first year racing with the World of Outlaws was my first
your
year
year.
as the series announcer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've kind of followed the whole career, and I've gotten to know the family. And I think the thing that impresses me most about the Schatz clan, everybody in the Schatz family, the work ethic. And I think people sometimes are not aware of how much work goes in that they don't see at the racetrack to keep the businesses going and keep the race teams going and keep everything happening here. I've heard many times before, Donnie flies into races and flies back home like he's going home and just sitting around. And I don't think they realize that he
going back
runs
to work.
businesses. Yeah, exactly. He's back in the office signing checks and doing things and surveying sites and just doing all the stuff it does to keep the Schatz enterprise functioning.
I think people can sometimes misread shyness with arrogance.
Yeah.
Like Donnie's
for
a
sure.
very private person.
Yes.
Like he's actually quite shy. Like he doesn't like to walk into a room and say, and to be honest, the Kinsters are the same way, Johnny. They're very private. They don't like to push to beat their own drum.
Yep.
It takes people like you and I to stand outside and go, hey, you're the Presleys of the sprint car world.
Yeah, yeah.
And these girls have inherited that humble humility that their grandma still instills in them, and their mum and their auntie and their uncle. So there's so much of these people you don't see on the racetrack, and I get frustrated, Johnny, when they started to boo Kyle. And that was inevitable just because people just, when you get to a certain level, people want to boo you. And I knew that was coming, and I watched it with Donnie for years. And I thought, they're booing him because he's winning, not because he's done anything on the track that deserves that.
No, it's just people get tired of...
We get that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, again, having grown up as a fan before I got involved with the World of Outlaws when Steve Kinzer was dominating, I fell into the same sort of thing, like, oh, you know, Steve's winning again. And now with Donnie, I've gotten to appreciate it, to be able to appreciate what I'm seeing, because it's something that's very rare. It does not happen often.
You know, even since when you talk about hearing about River City Speedway, since I have been the announcer upstairs and not trackside, think about this. Just with the World of Outlaws, we've seen the Donnie Schott, Steve Kinzer duel. We saw Kyle Young Money going through the infield and winning the race at the last second. Fastest lap. I mean, the racing is always good. Yeah. We got a question from Lucy Farley. Asked Johnny about 9-second lap. I was at the scales, and when Jason Myers turned that lap and came to the scales, his eyes were wide open, and his remark was, "Shit, that was scary." Love the Schatz family. Jim and Lucy Farley.
Jim and Lucy were officials with the series for many, many years. And yeah, that not just a 9-second lap, because we've seen several 9-second laps at different tracks throughout the
9 seconds.
But 9.2 seconds.
Yeah. So almost 8.
Yeah, so we're,
What size track?
Quarter mile. Yeah. But when you see the racetrack and you see...
They're looking at me like, oh, you got no idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And you watch the lap times, which will most likely maybe be in the 9s, but possibly low 10s, that sort of thing. And you watch how fast the cars are going then, and you think, the fastest lap in track history is almost a full second quicker than this.
It's nuts. They consider the very top, if you were to run that cushion all the way around, it's almost a 3/8, but it's considered a quarter mile track, but the banking is what makes it the way it is, almost. And I was one of those guys that always said there's no such thing as too fast of a track, but there is. And sometimes it almost got to that point. I tell you what, we're 25 minutes in. Let's take a quick little break here. Boy, we have got a lot more coming up. Just hold on. We'll be right back on a Dirty Thursday brought to you by River City Speedway. Life doesn't ever seem to slow down. Everything needs to be done right now. Well, when it comes time for an oil change, stop into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You know, most changes are done in about 15 minutes. Valvoline Instant Oil Change does more too. Tranny and coolant flushes, tire rotations, and batteries. And included in your oil change, they're going to top off your fluids, check your tires, battery, lights, wipers, and cabin air filter too. And you get discounts for fleets and the military. You know, they can text and email invoices and coupons and mention Grand Forks Best Source and get $10 off your oil change. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. They're open Monday through Saturday with no appointment needed. Pickup and delivery is also available if you live in Grand Forks. And Valvoline Instant Oil Change is now hiring. If you'd like to join their team as an assistant manager, customer service rep, or lube tech, stop in to find out more. Valvoline Instant Oil Change for a complete oil change and more. They're at 3325 South 38th Street, or call them 701-780-8462. And make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. If you're looking for great food, great cocktails, and great service without needing a reservation, it's Buffalo Wild Wings in Grand Forks. A great menu that features B-Dub's famous wings, wraps, tenders, salads, burgers, and of course their famous sauces ranging from sweet to very, very spicy. And you can get awesome cocktails too. Grab a bite to eat, visit with friends or family, or watch your favorite sports teams on one of B-Dub's many ginormous TVs. Stop in to find out more about their numerous daily lunch specials, Wing Tuesdays, Boneless Thursdays, happy hours, and more. Make it Buffalo Wild Wings today for lunch or dinner, or both. 2717 South Columbia Road in Grand Forks. Go exclusive. Go Buffalo Wild Wings. Alrighty, we are back on a Dirty Thursday brought to you by River City Speedway, and we have got a full studio today. Johnny Gibson is here, World of Outlaw announcer, of course, along with Australian Wade Aunger.
Perfect.
Said it right that time.
Perfect.
And Amelia and Laela Eisenschenk. And we got more celebrities in the studio. New Greenbush announcer is in the studio today, Mr. Wisco. There we go. We're going to give him a high shout out and all of that stuff, too. Dale, you had a question.
Yeah, I saw Wayne, I saw you put together a video. I was watching it this morning. You know, the girls, Amelia, Laela, you got your roots and go-karts racing here at Forks Karting Association at Red River Kart Club. So if more of you guys could just talk about, saw you did an awesome just kind of run-through video with the Red River Kart Club yesterday. You look like you guys had a ton of fun out there.
Yeah, for sure. We grew up racing at the Red River Kart Club, so it means a lot to us. And for that place to keep going is very important to us. So we wanted to go out there and have some fun with the kids, and that's for sure what we did.
You know, you had mentioned earlier about how Donnie is soft-spoken and stuff, but I can remember being at the karting track, and it's like, before I knew any better, it's like, Donnie Schatz over here? And he's like, yeah, he's here almost all the time with the I didn't know anything about you guys at that time. And I'm like, you're kidding me. He comes to Grand Forks to help you guys race your go-karts, and then he takes off and goes back to wherever he's racing or working or doing, and a lot of people don't realize that is the one side of him that a lot of people don't really know. Kaylee, it's hard for me for sure, but you have to learn how to handle and ignore the negative people, because no matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. Satisfaction of watching girls kick the guys' asses are worth it all, though. Great to see all these wonderful female drivers coming up through the ranks and into classes at the big track. Just this season, NOSA has had the pleasure of adding 4 female drivers. That's cool. I grew up in Bottineau, so Donnie was always my hometown driver. My brother Cody remembers playing with you girls as kids. That'd be Monson, Cody Monson, maybe. Keep kicking butt. How's the girls' school sports looking this year? Injuries are always higher than they are in the race team.
Yes.
And good morning. And are you girls officially retired from sports now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And okay, let's see, who had the torn Achilles
I did.
and
Amelia.
the blown knee?
Yeah, that was me, Laela.
And you guys are all healed up okay now?
Well, I'm still going through therapy. It's been about 5 months since my surgery, and it's about a 12-month recovery
Sure.
process. So I'm almost halfway there, but I still got a long ways to go.
Yeah. And does it bother you in the race car?
You know, at first it did. I had surgery April 1st, and I think I raced end of May, beginning of June, and it did bother me in the sprint car because you're really tight in there and up against the knee guards. So that bothered me for a little bit, but it's all good now, and I'm not bothered by it anymore.
Do you have to wear a brace when you race or anything?
No. So that was kind of the question that we were wondering when I first did it, like how am I going to do this? And none of the brace, I could not wear a brace in the car. It just didn't fit. It just, my knees like literally bent at a 90-degree angle, so it just didn't work that way. But we found a way around it, and pretty much is perfect now, back to normal.
You know, I'm a veteran of 5 knee surgeries myself, and tore both my Achilles tendons
good
also.
work.
So how is the Achilles injury?
The Achilles injury is pretty good. I've completed physical therapy. It gets really tight, you know, when I race. It's my gas pedal foot, so it's always, you know, working. But I get it like scraped and stuff to loosen the muscles, so that helps a lot. And I had a really good team of physical trainers behind me, so that really helped.
You need to have a T-shirt that says, remember when racing was dangerous and basketball was safe.
And you know, it was funny because I grew up a hockey player. And I had a teacher who was a basketball coach, and he would sit and try to tell me basketball's the most physical sport there is. Well, I played hockey and football, and I'm thinking, no, it's not. But you know what? I probably know more people got injured playing basketball than hockey.
Yeah.
And they're just completely different injuries. Is there any ribbing on each other after one finishes better than the other?
You know, I won the other week, and Laela was not impressed. So, well, I have a reasoning for it because I led the whole race, and then there was a late caution, and the motor stumbled on the restart, so she blew right by me, and I was like, oh my God, of course, this is my luck, but, you know, we're a team, so you got to think past that, and, but yeah, it does get difficult when it's for a win, that's for sure.
Now, I mean, I'm sure you are the first to congratulate each other, but then when you get back into the holler, do you kind of do one of them, or not?
No, we don't really tease each other about it because we know that when you're a team, you have to work together and you have to support each other. So, you know, that's our family has hounded on us that you have to support each other and you have to, you know, congratulate one another when one finishes better. But when it's for the win, it's definitely like a little.
Do you guys, are your cars set up similarly, or do you like them complete opposite of each other?
Well, we were at Jackson the other week, and Jody Rosenblum was helping us out, and he figured out that we like the cars completely different. And my car is from 2010, I think, when Donnie raced in Canada. So obviously the cars are engineered different.
Sure.
Because her
and these
car,
are the 305s.
Yep,
Okay.
305s. And her car is just from 2021 off Donnie's car from TSR. So they're obviously set up a little different, but our driving styles, I think, are also a little different as well.
Are you guys starting to get more well-known if you walking down the street to people in Fargo or anywhere go, I think I just saw the Eisenschenk twins over there? Or not yet?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, when we're at the races, it's, a lot of people want to talk, and they kind of know who we are, and it's pretty cool to see.
Still having flashbacks to the Great Huset's flood from several weeks ago. You guys, your motorhome was down there, your mom's motorhome, right? She barely get it out of there or what?
No, our motorhome was down there, yes, and our grandma's, but we were parked right when you come down the hill.
Okay.
So we weren't close to where the river was, so that was thankful. I'm sure Johnny was there with his motorhome too.
And I was parked where you guys were, so
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough that I saw all the stuff on the other side of the property. But having talked to some people who had been around the track for years, they said, "Don't worry, the water's never going to get up to where you're at." So
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate.
Was
where
that
we were
one of
parked.
those deals you wake up and just go,
Oh, yeah.
holy
Oh, yeah.
buckets?
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely.
I mean, I heard a guy woke up to a boat going by his motorhome.
Yeah.
You talk about a pleasant surprise or an unpleasant surprise. That would not be very good. We got rained out last week. I know, was it still raining when you guys pulled in this morning, or
Well,
it was okay?
Yeah, I got in last night before the
Okay.
rain started, and then it rained overnight, but it looks like it's pretty much clearing up now, and I think the weather's supposed to be fantastic for the races tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, it's supposed to be really nice. We're talking 90s again by this weekend. So, now when you go to, I've never been to Australia. I've been all over the world.
Why not?
I don't know. That's probably going to be next on my bucket list. But what's the weather like there compared to now? And I don't know. Is it their winter now or summer or what?
And it's not winter, is it? Is it,
No,
Johnny? It's we have pseudo winter.
Okay.
We say, oh, it gets cold down there, and they go, oh, how cold? And you go, well, 30.
Oh,
Yeah, like that's 0 Celsius.
that's sweatshirt weather
It's
here.
cold for what we're used to. We're conditioned to it, right?
Sure.
So we were talking about a Christmas Day the other day, right? Our Christmas Day is 110.
Oh man.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And it's a dry heat. Johnny knows it's not a humid heat. It's very dry. So our seasonal...
Although Warrnambool can be humid.
Oh, Warrnambool's 5 seasons in one day.
Oh, wow.
Warrnambool, like, if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute.
Yeah.
And we have this thing called, you're not allowed to call it rain, so we call it sea mist.
Yes.
When the sea mist comes in,
sure.
you don't say, oh, it's starting to rain. You say the sea mist. One of the most frustrating experiences I've ever seen for Johnny, we traveled on the road together for World Series Sprint Cars, and he's a massive hockey fan, like the Penguins.
Oh yeah. We bet on
Yes.
Facebook all year long.
So Australia's got sketchy internet service in the outback at best. And
Okay.
Johnny he's tuned into the game live. I think we're going through Penola out the back of Mount Gambier
Yep,
out
yep,
that way,
yep.
and all of a sudden there's the score, and he's like, yes! And then there's like complete internet silence for the next 10 minutes. He's just tapping his phone. Then all of a sudden they're down by a goal, and so it's a different way of doing things. We still have the same passion, Johnny. Like
Yes.
our sport's very much the same. But there are a lot of intricacies in Australia you just don't have here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's. But again, it is, I think, in some ways still more fun than it
Yeah.
is here. The biggest difference I've noticed in having gone to Australia now, off and on for 20 some years, is the fact that we've talked about how expensive it is over there, and it's an
Yeah.
expensive sport everywhere, but even more so in Australia. Because it is so expensive there aren't very many. There are precious few that do it for a living. There are more
Correct.
professional race car drivers here in the States than there are in
Oh,
Australia. And so because it is not so much of a business, it's more of a hobby, I think there's a little more camaraderie. There's a little more
Yeah.
hanging out together after the races. Because at a World of Outlaws level here in the States,
Yeah.
basically this guy's trying to take food off your table. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to
Sure.
when it's team
Yeah.
versus team. Where in Australia most of them are doing it just for a hobby, so it's not as serious. It's not as competitive. It's competitive on the track, but
Yeah.
it's not that cutthroat. We can't hang out because we race for opposite teams kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's like owning a restaurant and 4 other restaurants are the same franchise open up in town. It's like, hey, but we also race more weekly than we do. There's periods during the class that the month of January is our insane month. That's where everything from December 26th through to the end of January is insane. And I talked to Donnie about this yesterday. The Australian Sprint Car Championship still does not allow Americans to race in it. And Donnie thought that was actually something he still understands, because you can only be one driver in Australia with number one.
Oh, sure.
Like you and I can go and start a race. Like, which one of you two is number one? Right.
Yeah.
So Mills has got number one. Well, in Australia, you have to earn the right to be number one.
Right. Kind of like a motorcycle racing.
AMA,
Things like that.
yeah,
Sure.
same deal. So with us, the Australian Championship, since it started, has never had Americans in it. Now, it's weird because the late models and the midgets have Americans racing in it. But the Australian title is the one race every year that doesn't need Americans to pull a big crowd. And I say that with respect. I don't mean that
No.
Americans are certainly, you are the fabled land to us. Like, just like everything, you are the, like the holy grail of sprint car racing, particularly Knoxville. It's where we go. There's almost 2,000 Aussies come to Knoxville every year.
Wow. Paul Erickson wants to know, what engine do they run in Australia? Is it still a 410 or is it something different?
So for years, it was 372.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for years, up until Brian Healy came into Parramatta, and he pretty well clubbed us over the head with the idea that we're going 410. 360 racing is reasonably big. And they've just got an LS class down there as now, like a crate motor class. But fundamentally, the big dogs, exactly the same as what you run here.
Okay, somebody wants to know if you're going to Boone for the Boone Spoon.
Oh, I am so going to Boone. Boone is Walmart on wheels.
Oh, okay.
They have 1,000 cars that race for the week. There's a little high bank bull ring. They run 5 wide there. They start in the modifieds 3 wide, like the Indy 500. And it is just... Oh my God, it's hard to explain, Johnny. It's like Woodstock, It's like everyone is just real. There is the fierce competition, but it's like families on open trailers. The steak sandwiches are legendary, and they race from 1 o'clock in the day till 1 o'clock the next morning. There's 80 modified heats. 80.
Wow.
So it's a huge deal, over 1,000 cars, and I've fallen in love with it. It's an incredibly honest and redneckly beautiful event.
Yeah. Well, like Woodstock. I've never heard of a race like
it's
that.
like that.
When are they planning to race at Knoxville? Talking about you girls, this is from Donovan.
Ooh.
Pressing showing at Jackson as both are completely different beasts to Fargo. He wants to know if you're planning on racing there, and there you go.
Yeah, we got this question a lot this last month at Knoxville. So we hope to be there next year. That's the plan for the Nationals. But Donnie plans to take us there this spring to see if we're ready for it. A lot of people know that he'll tell us if we're ready or not. So
Sure.
We'll just kind of wait and see what happens at that testing in the spring, and we'll see. We'll be able to have an answer by then.
Okay, and the same person wants to know, which class do you like the best, late model or sprint cars?
Oh, we get that a lot, actually. It's really hard to pick because they're 2 different things. You
Sure.
can't compare them to each other, and we race them at different racetracks, too. I mean, Grand Forks is probably the only racetrack we race both 410s, 305s, and late models at. So it's really hard to pick, and the late models is a different beast. I can tell you it takes a lot more strength and body power to even turn the thing. So it's hard to pick. We're just blessed to drive both of them. And I got to add to that Knoxville comment, actually. Donnie Saturday night, he struggled, the whole weekend.
Yep.
He got dressed in the motorhome, and I was walking out with him, and he goes, "You pay attention, because in a couple years we're going to be switching spots, because we sit up in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame." So that was kind of cool. He's like, "You pay attention, because we're going to be switching spots in a few years." So that was
Awesome.
kind of cool to hear. So
Greg Moore, Greg, don't get fired. Trying to listen to not get fired at the same time. May need John to have my back on this one if things go south. Leave the Vegemite at home.
Now, come on, Johnny, don't shake your head.
No, I'm shaking my head to say leave it at home because I like Vegemite.
Yeah, he's actually one of the few people that likes it.
Okay, what is it actually? I mean,
You explain it, and I'll tell him what it really is.
I'm a good eater, and I will eat pretty much anything as long as I'm not allergic to it.
Oh God,
So it's a sandwich spread.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
anytime they say spread, you got to go, okay.
It's a yeast extract.
Okay.
It's got a lot of vitamin D and a lot of vitamin B. It's black as 2 a.m.
Okay.
So it looks like axle grease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aussies tend to pick on Americans, and they will let them put it on or try it with a spoon or like peanut butter.
Okay.
That's what's not fair.
Right,
We don't
right.
give it a chance. So you put toast, like Aussies will eat it with toast and avocado and stuff
sure.
like that. So it's like a peanut butter, but it's very salty.
Right. And that's the thing. You don't want to spread it on like you're doing a peanut butter sandwich here in the
Correct.
States. Just a little bit
See,
goes a long
knows.
way. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very salty.
Yeah.
But my ex-mother-in-law, she puts it on like that. Like she likes it thick, but you just scratch it. You a lot of margarine or butter, and you just scratch it on top. And it's honestly, it is mother's milk.
Okay.
When you grow up as a little kid, you get it like, the kid's crying, Vegemite sandwich in their mouth. Men at Work made it famous, right?
I was
With
just
the
going to
song
say,
Down
I
Under.
got men at work down on
He
my
just
on my
smiled and
notes
gave me a
here.
Vegemite sandwich.
Jeez.
But
That'll
Americans
shut
hate
him
it.
up.
And if I would have realized that Wade was coming up here, I would have had him bring Vegemite and cheese shapes. Those are
they're your favorites.
my favorite Aussie snack.
I bet, you know what?
So like a cracker. but
Yeah.
it's- yeah.
I bet you that would be. See, to me, that sounds good. This stuff all sounds good. And I do want to. You and I had talked before, and I didn't know if you knew everybody was coming or not. I figured you'd maybe seen the promo or not. But
Right.
are we still okay with bringing your friend out?
Probably.
Okay, because I'm looking for. I have told people, everybody thinks they know so much about people, and I don't really know that much about any of you. I do know you enough to know that I have told people the dude is a hell of a guitar player.
Yes,
I've
yes,
heard.
I can confirm.
Yeah.
He played at our house a month ago.
Oh, did you? And when I'm telling people
Eisenschenk
this,
Stadium, it's called.
I wouldn't doubt it if they have one of those. But I tell people, I said, you go into his motorhome. He's got a couple of cats and a lot of guitars.
One cat.
Okay,
multiple
one cat.
guitars.
And a lot of guitars. And people are like, no way, he doesn't play guitar. And it's like, well, yeah, he absolutely does. And I have been
great
bugging
pictures when you had long hair and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think it's fairly well known that before I became involved in racing and doing it for a living, I played in bands. That's what I did for a living, aside from a bunch of different fairly meaningless day jobs. But I played in bands. But I played drums back then. But when I started traveling with the World of Outlaws, I
Yeah.
picked up a guitar, taught myself how to play.
Oh.
And actually, so last week at the Jackson Motorplex, after the races on Friday night, I got to sit in with the Jeremy DeWall band. They played there after the
yeah.
races.
Yeah.
And so I got to play a few songs on guitar and sing a little bit and got to play drums a little bit. And I'm looking forward to next week at Houston Speedway because they're playing after the races on Saturday night. So I'll get to sit in with them at Houston's on Saturday night
I
as
had
well.
an acoustic performance in Lismore with
Yes.
Johnny in the motel room, just him and I, just
Yeah.
sitting there, kind of jamming out. He's a great guitarist.
do you prefer electric or acoustic?
Well, I didn't have an electric guitar until about 2 years ago.
Okay,
I got my
okay.
first electric guitar. I had at one point before I even was traveling in a motorhome full time, when I still had an apartment, I had 9 acoustic guitars.
Oh my.
Wow.
Holy cow. You're Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And
All
Gibson.
in one.
And your name's Gibson, which is like a very famous guitar brand.
And the funny thing is, I've never owned a Gibson
I was
guitar.
going to say, probably doesn't even have a Gibson. Do you have a Martin?
No, I do
Okay.
not. So the acoustics were an assortment of Fenders, Ibanez, a Godin that I still have that I really like. And then when I got my first electric guitar, I got a Gretsch.
Oh, sure.
And actually, I just placed an order last night for my second electric guitar. I'm going to get a Dan Electro.
Oh, about that.
So I know you're a big Rush fan too, right?
Oh,
like you would always play Tom Sawyer, and I was like, oh yeah, he's playing Tom Sawyer.
How many times have you seen Rush? Have you?
Actually, I've never seen Rush. Tom Sawyer, I think, is a fantastic song to go along with the sprint car races. But
Yeah.
I'm actually not a huge Rush fan. I certainly respect them as a band.
But
But
you read his book? Didn't you read Neil Peart's
yes,
book?
yes. Neil Peart's book was fantastic.
Here's my wife. It's probably similar to you. She likes the band, but can't stand Geddy Lee's voice. It's kind of like fingernails on a chalkboard or whatever. But I got to see them, and you should have seen Geddy Lee. He's up there fretting.
Oh, yep.
And he's playing a keyboard with
Yep.
his other hand and some kind of a synthesizer with his foot.
Right. So when he's playing the keyboards, he's got the bass pedals. So he's the bassist, but when he doesn't have the bass guitar, he's got the pedals that he plays with his feet for the bass notes while he's playing keyboards.
And singing.
Yep.
And with the look on his face, like he's thinking to himself, okay, I got to stop at Aldi's tonight, and I got to get bread, and I got to get milk on the way home, and I got so
So
much stuff
rock
to do.
music is a great way to make unattractive people very attractive. Because he's a very unusual looking man.
Hey, we've got a great question here from Donovan. What are you guys pointing at? Oh,
Question.
Yeah. What nickname would John give the girls, or do they have something planned like Big Cat Brad Sweet?
Actually, I don't have anything planned. Nicknames to me are something that you can't plan. It's got to be something that just kind of pops up. It happens. My favorite nickname story with Double Down Jason Sides, because that's a North Dakota thing.
Yep.
He was playing blackjack in the bar at the Kelly Inn down in Fargo back in the day, and he might have had a little bit to drink that night.
No.
And doubled down on a 16 twice and hit a 5 both times.
Oh, man. What are the that you have to have that nickname then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer.
But some of the names are so misleading.
Yeah.
Like the Big Cat, you expect a guy that's going to climb out of the roll cage the size of Steve Kinzer.
Yeah.
Like Big Daddy.
No.
Like all these things, you go, what, Big Daddy? Like, but they're actually life story. Like Young Money, right? Same thing.
Young Money, yeah.
So what is that nickname you're going to come up for him? What would you think right now?
Somebody just
you can't.
Forks Paul said Shiv and Shank. Have you guys thought of nicknames for yourself?
No.
I bet you have nicknames for each other under your breath when they're not listening, though.
Well, we just have simple ones like she's Mel, I'm Lay.
Oh, okay.
But I kind of have a funny story because back in the go-kart days, I was always known as No Lift Laela, but I don't know if
What?
I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. But to me, it is. When I crash something, she always has to say that to me.
Okay.
No lift, Layla. I'll remember
They've
that.
got two. A lot of people don't know they've got a brother and sister as well on top of these two. And I met Bergen last night. She's a really cool cat. Like she's a catcher for softball. And Gray is a really really stout basketballer. And I went to the other day. Leia and I went to with Deanne. We went to the Empire, the basketball stadium they own there. And I said, hey, just throw a few shots at each other. And all of a sudden it got really competitive, Johnny. I mean, like suddenly it's like, oh yeah. And then they were just going at it. So the competitiveness comes from way beyond Donnie.
Oh, yeah.
It comes from Danny and Diane, I think.
Yeah.
And you guys were awesome in sports, too. I mean, athleticism runs in your family, obviously, until the injuries, and now you decided to focus on racing. But you guys would still
Now, wait, back up a second. I'm going to
Okay,
take up. I'm going to take up for all racers here because athleticism runs in the family. Race car drivers are absolutely athletes.
For sure.
I hear that all the the time too. Oh, race car drivers aren't athletes.
Oh, no.
Strap in, and see what happens.
Exactly. Being playing the sports, the basketball, things like that, did that help you? Did that prepare you to get into the race car?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about this yesterday with KVR. Like, basketball obviously got frustrating for me because I tried to play it in the summertime and it got in the way of racing, as well as a little bit in the wintertime when I wanted to go watch some big races in the winter. But I can for sure say that basketball helped me in a lot of ways. When you're a race car driver, obviously, like Johnny said, it takes an athlete. And I'd say I get a lot more worn out racing a car than I do playing basketball. And it also takes a lot of mental toughness. And that's something that Donnie's tried to install into us too, is mental toughness and on a whole nother level. And basketball just was that way for me to keep that installed during the wintertime without Donnie being there next by our side in the summer. So definitely taught me a lot during the wintertime of racing.
When you talk about athleticism in a race car driver, I want to go back again to the Donnie Schatz, Steve Kinzer duel here a few years back. Okay, you think about it. At that time, Steve Kinzer had probably turned 900 million laps in his career. And when that race was done, he couldn't hardly lift his head up. Yeah. He was done. He was spent. He was like, give me a minute. He couldn't even talk. That tells you how hard it really is. The first time of the year, you get out of that car, your head's probably like this because you're just, the muscles aren't there yet, and all of that. I've been dying to ask you this. Hall of Fame. I know how cool that is, and it's such an honor. But what would you prefer, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Good question.
That's a really difficult question because again, I've spent so much of my life involved in music, but the honor of being inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame was just a day that I will never ever forget.
Right.
And at this point, honestly, I still kind of wonder why. Like to me, it seems surreal that I would be even considered for induction into the Hall of Fame. So it's hit me in some ways, but in some ways it still hasn't, because in a lot of ways I don't really feel very deserving of it, but very honored to be there. But who knows? I've still got a lot of years left, hopefully, and maybe we'll I don't know that I'll be able to be a performer in music, but maybe a songwriter and go that way.
Okay, 2,323 consecutive races. It's never crossed your mind that one day I'm not going to do this, has it?
Not really. I am so very fortunate to be able to do something for a living that I absolutely love. And I don't know what else I would do if I weren't announcing sprint cars. The only thing that would change that is if I didn't have to have any type of job, if I hit the lottery or something where I could,
you'd still be there.
I'd still be there, but I don't know that I would commit to being at every race all the time. There's still some other things that I'd kind of like to do, but again, that is, the way off here. If I didn't have to support myself, which everybody has those lottery dreams.
Yeah. Sure. I couldn't imagine it. After 2,982 races, Johnny missed the race because he won the lottery. Yeah, I have total respect for Rush. Even Geddes, I can't believe my wife's watching. They are the best of the best musicians, but I just don't like their music. Yeah, that's okay. I know she doesn't. This was a question earlier. Dirt is your future? Is that your future, or would you like to do some asphalt stuff?
We were actually just talking about this on the way up. Dirt has been in our family forever.
Forever.
That's what we grew up doing. I've actually never been to a NASCAR race, so that's kind of surprising. But we actually do have the opportunity this fall to do some pavement late model testing. So we're actually kind of excited. We've never done anything like that, and but dirt is definitely, we love dirt racing. Anything we can race on dirt would be pretty good. We grew up racing Donnie grew up racing sprint cars, and he did a little bit of late models, and we've never tried modifieds or midgets, but we've always wanted to try a midget actually, and we're very fortunate, and we're willing to go whatever way that opportunity takes us.
Sure. I went to the Daytona 500 a couple of years ago, and one thing I found out, it was the only NASCAR race I've ever been to. You will find out how many anti-Kyle Busch people there are out there, because there's a lot of them. I wanted to go through a couple of stats here with Uncle Donnie at River City Speedway. Listen to this. You talk about impressive 12 wins. 23 podiums, 29 top fives, 32 top 10s. His average finish at River City Speedway, 2.7. Yeah. That's a podium every single time is an average. I tell you what, man, that guy knows how to wheel it his way around here. This is going to be cool. All the girls at the Chili Bowl would be awesome to see. That would be a lot of fun. Have you ever thought about something like that?
Yeah, we have always thought, we always have the craziest ideas, and our family never agrees, but yeah, we would love to race the Chili Bowl. It's always been a dream of ours. It's just such a cool event. We love watching every minute of it at school and our desks during the day, but one day I hope we can race it. Midgets, like she said, we've always grown up watching sprint cars and late models, and it's just never been a path we've been directed towards as midgets or anything like that. But obviously, if we were given the opportunity, we'd love to do it.
Okay, now you had talked about the grandma and your mom and Donnie and everything. So you guys have been on the show. Your mom, your grandma, all have been on live, and you were both on here with Donnie via Zoom. He's still the only one that hasn't been in the studio yet, so you guys work on him for that a little bit for next time.
We're gonna get him to come.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I want you to kind of wrap up the show, if you would, with a song, which would be great. But how long are you in the United States for?
So 22nd of September, so the day after the late model nationals at Knoxville.
Okay. Okay.
So I head out to that. I've got a thing called Methanol Moonshine, which is our moonshine company that we have here in Iowa, actually.
I knew that. Yep.
Yeah, and we actually can now distribute to North Dakota and 39 other states. So
Okay.
I'm here to sort of help try and build the brand for that.
Okay. So could there possibly be a taste test for John Roberts in the near future, like tomorrow?
Oh, hell yes, there can. Absolutely. In fact, we should do it at the meet and greet.
A testing at our shop when we weren't there the other
Yeah,
day?
there was. It was an unofficial testing,
Okay.
John. It's interesting. We say Uncle Donnie a lot with these girls, and that's the part of their story. But one day it's going to be a point where Uncle Donnie isn't the sole purpose of the discussion, because these girls are making their own careers.
Oh, for sure.
And the other kid that's very much like this is Garrett Tatnall. Right, Brooks' son, who's a
Yep.
phenomenal young racer, and is going to be. So I can't wait. Donnie is always going to be a point of reference for these girls, and they'll always be proud of that. But I can't wait till one day it's just the Eisenshots story. You like that, Eisenshots?
Yep.
Right, so one day I think it's going to come to the point where it's just you guys, you know?
That's perfect.
Did you catch on Saturday night at Jackson? I think it was either Johnny or is it Sean? One of you said Uncle Donnie on the when you were announcing.
Yep.
So
'Cause I've
you know
heard-
he actually goes. We call him Uncle.
Yeah, I've heard. I was just gonna say I've heard you guys just call him Uncle
Yeah.
100 times
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, he doesn't go by Uncle Donnie anymore. We just say Uncle.
Oh,
like,
sure. And this is one thing, Wade, I was going to tell you, and now I was just going to say it too. Daryl, one of our Canadian friends. Good morning, John, guests, and everyone watching. Great show. See you tomorrow. Maybe I don't know if are you going to be here? You're going to be here tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe when we get set up, you can jump in a golf cart with me or something.
Yeah,
but I got to
great.
take you through Little Canada. It's a place where all the Canadians come, and they bring their motorhomes and their campers, and they call it Little Canada, and they all camp there. And we've got to be really, really good friends with a lot
So
of
there's
these
poutine
Canadians.
and stuff like that
Oh,
there?
well, maybe. They do bring food, and they like to have a lot of fun.
know what
guys,
poutine is,
you don't
right?
know what
Yeah, it's
poutine
like,
is?
cheese curds and all that with gravy.
Yeah, like gravy. Yeah, it's
Fries,
gravy
cheese,
and
yeah.
fries, and then you can
But-
put what you want
but
on it.
To me, that's more of a Quebec thing than.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
More of a
yep.
French sort of
Yep,
Canadian
Yeah,
thing?
a Quebec. There you
Quebec.
go. I'm a French Canadian. so-
Little Canada.
Yeah, they call it Little Canada.
Sure.
That's what we call
if
it.
they'll have me, I mean, it might, an Aussie in Little Canada might be. They might.
Oh, I can't
Do
wait.
I have to bring my passport?
No, you
Okay.
won't have to. They
Good
don't.
deal.
So,
I'll bring the moonshine. We'll be right.
oh, we'll be really good, folks. Let's just take a minute here. Let's listen to this. Johnny Gibson, man, I am so excited about this.
Now, I'm not sure. Is this? Are we picking up the guitar at all?
Let's take this
Yep.
and swing it that way,
There we go.
and I will move the sound here to get it just the way we want it. Oh yeah.
So, this is my first time ever trying anything like this in front of like an audience where there are people like watching at home or so on.
And we appreciate it.
But I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Instead of playing, 2,000 Man for Wade or something like that, we're gonna try doing an original here.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
So this song is called 50 Days. It is about trying to recover from a relationship that is every bit as toxic as some of the toxic chemicals people put in their bodies, and how difficult it is to overcome something like that when you know you're doing something wrong, but you can't stop yourself. So this is called 50 Days.
All right.
Comes no surprise. It's the same old. Heard it all before. Then again, what do I know? It's not the goodbye. It's the ghost of the first time. It's the touch and the smell and the kiss that never really were mine. And I don't know where to go. I don't know what I did before you when I'm dying. Losing myself, and the saddest part is that I don't care. I've tried and I feel so ashamed, 'cause I can't hate you. I don't know what I've done for these 50 days except for crying over you. Don't know what you see when you look through your eyes. My love was the sad inspiration for your secrets and your lies. I smile for the camera, give a performance with one line, and I hope and I wish and I dread that there might be a next time. I don't know where to go, I don't know what I did before you, and I'm dying, losing myself, and the saddest part is that I don't care. I've tried and I tried, and I feel so ashamed, 'cause I can't hate you. I don't know what I've done for these 50 days, except crying over you. I don't know where to go, I don't know what I did before you, and I'm dying, losing myself, and the saddest part is that I don't care. I've tried and I tried, and I feel so ashamed, 'cause I can't hate you. I don't know what I've done for these 50 days, except for crying. I've been crying over you.
Johnny Gibson in 50 days. Wow.
Wow. Oh, listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd.
That was crazy. Well, look at the place is going nuts here. Carried on, Wisco. Nice job. Damn, Gibby, you're good. Wow, just wow. Johnny made me stop what I was doing just to listen. Hell yeah, Gibson. Nah, boy, that was awesome. Johnny Rocker, nice job. You are the best. Holy crap, man, that was good.
Thank you.
Give me a triangle. Give me a triangle. I want to play something.
Cowbell or something, for Pete's sakes. Were you a little out of your element there? I know I kind of felt bad, asking
Yeah,
you.
you put it on him, John. You put it on him.
Well, I think he maybe was thinking, okay, if I'm just going to come into the studio and we'll just do it, and then we get here and there's got a whole group here. But
No, actually, it's fine. It's something I enjoy doing.
oh, I thought that
Had
was
a real
incredible.
John Mellencamp feel to
Yeah.
it, mate. The
Yeah.
real Jack and Diane kind of feel to it. That was great.
Yeah. Next year's
Smarty
Four
pants.
Wide going to be presented by J. Gibson Records. How about that? DSRs, can you be our entertainment tonight? Great job, Johnny. Awesome show. We even got some people here that I've never seen watching, and they already went through. Donovan says, hey, good show. I'm going to keep watching from now on. Where have you been, Donovan? It's not a bad show.
This doesn't happen every week. Johnny Gibson doesn't come and perform every week, right?
No, he does not.
Next week, it's... Who you got next week?
I got nobody next week yet. I'm going to wait and see who wins.
John Fogerty
tomorrow
calling
night.
in for a couple-
maybe. I don't know. If he's still here, John Fogerty might have to wait. Girls, it's just so great that you guys come here. I'm so glad. And I want to give a shout out to Brad Sang, because Brad is actually the one that got me hooked up with your mom, who in turn got all of this started, and you guys are amazing. And she told me that you are one of the coolest guys she knows. And what more can we say about Johnny Gibson? I might go to the track at like noon tomorrow. I don't know what time you guys are going to. Oh, no, we got to be at Buffalo Wild Wings for a couple hours.
Yeah, you do. You got work to do.
Yeah, I am so looking forward to this. Do you want to play another one for an outro or not? Because if you do, I just want to play my ads first, and we'll come back to
we
you,
can do
okay?
that. Yep.
All right, so give me a minute here. Again, thank you, Wade, for coming in. Girls, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. What a hell of a show, guys. Gibson, always a great. Thank you, ladies, for coming back. I want to just tell you our show today brought to you by Rumors Sports Bar and Casino. Don't forget, they're taking a bus to the World of Outlaws tomorrow night. The bus will leave at 6:15. Racing starts at 7:30. Here's what you want to do. Go to Rumors. You can see the sign right now. Head to Rumors. It's $5 to jump on this bus. When you come back, you give them your bus ticket. You get a free drink, and then you can just go watch TV TV or hang out, whatever. Have yourself a world-famous beer tower. Tomorrow is going to rock. 1 o'clock today, big screens and TV streams. 6:30 tonight, Fork Sports Highway Show with Bill and Monty and the whole crew. And if you like beer, make sure you catch the Brew Brothers podcast at 9 o'clock tonight. Have a great day, everybody. Catch at the track this weekend somewhere, hopefully River City Speedway tomorrow night. Remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell to make sure you never miss a show. Forks are awesome. Grand Forks' best source is giving them an identity again. And we leave you with Johnny Gibson.
Well, my name, it is a number. It's on a piece of plastic film. And I've been growing funny flowers outside on my little windowsill. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all. You know, my wife still respects me, even though I really misuse her. I am having an affair with a random computer. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all. Oh, Daddy, proud of your planet. Oh, Mommy, proud of your son. Oh, Daddy, proud of your planet. Oh, Mommy, proud of your son. Oh, Daddy, we're still flashing like they did when you were young. Oh, did they come down crashing, seeing all the things you had done? Spacing out and having fun. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all. Understand me, understand me, understand me. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all.
Yeah, 2000. Great job,
Gibson.
mate. Great job, Gibby.
Oh, man. Johnny Gibson, everybody. Thank you all
That's
for
Kiss,
joining
baby.
us on a Dirty Thursday. We'll see you all later. All right.